Life's not all sunshine and rainbows like people want you to think it is. The world can be a cruel place, often because people make it that way. Human beings can be a lot of things. And I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut? Guess again. I'm Johnny V. Welcome to the youfa channel. I went to support a friend and watch a show where this performer was the lead. I arrive and there's this performer's picture up on the bulletin board with a non-gender specific name underneath. And I know I shouldn't take it personally, but I got kind of annoyed. Here I am going out of my way to support you in your artistic endeavor. And how do you thank me? By slapping me in the face with your political statement? You pompous little turd. I'm getting sick of all of you trying to force me to respond in some way. Now we're being labeled. We're being called cisgender. What the hell is cisgender? There's no such thing. It's something you made up to label me when I don't want to be involved with your nonsense. It's bullshit. And I'm not going to tolerate it. And for those of you who try to force me to respond, I'm not going to. In particular, when you give me a form at the doctor's office, how do you identify? No, I put a big NA through it. Non-applicable to your bullshit. This does not apply to me. I'm out of it. That's a big topic these days, and I brought my friend Dawn in to talk about it on today's episode. I hope you like it. Here it is. Dawn, do you like this better or the border?
The border.
Oh, really? All right, then. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the youfa channel. We have a new theme for this week's episode. Can you tell what the theme is? I got my friend Dawn with me. Hi, Dawn. Say hi.
Hello.
All right, that's it. Shut up. Dawn, can you tell what the theme is?
I most certainly can tell what the theme is.
You like it?
I'm all about it.
Yeah, I did it myself. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm a little frustrated. I got this pending lawsuit against the NBA. Dawn, they haven't paid me a dime. Can you believe that?
I can't.
They haven't paid me a dime. I mean, I don't know how you perceive me or how the public perceives me. Maybe they just see this, middle-aged, 5'9" white guy. But I myself identify as a 6'5", 27-year-old black scoring champion, professional basketball player.
Right.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You can identify as whatever you want, and the whole world has to bow down to your demands. And the NBA hasn't paid me a dime. I think it's awful.
It is awful.
Yeah.
And it really is. And I think you have a hell of a case.
Yeah, I think I do, And Speaking of cases, I have another one. I got pulled over for drunk driving the other night, and I clearly told the cop that I identify as sober. Even though I failed the breathalyzer, I identify as sober. He wasn't having it. Not cool. Not cool. How do you identify, Dawn?
Well, I identify as who I am at the moment, but I'll tell you, this whole movement brings about a whole plethora of possibilities, because right now I'm looking around at the confounds of my house and I got too many fucking people living in here. So I just want to get in my car, drive over to the main line, knock on one of these, this big gargantuan mansion and say, I identify as the homeowner. So pack your shit and get the fuck out.
Awesome.
Now what can go wrong, John? What do you think?
Nothing can go wrong. It's a perfect plan. It's perfect time for that plan.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm pretty close to that point. I mean, I don't know that do you think I could, get away with that?
I think you should at least try it. And then we should try whatever we feel like doing.
Do you have my bail? You saving up?
I'm not going to save up any bail. I don't have to, because I just walk in there with Monopoly money and I say, well, this identifies as real cash.
Right.
You can just identify as whatever you want. I heard a story just last week about a kid walking into school who identifies as a dog. And the teacher said, good morning, Rusty. And the kid went, ruff. And the other kid laughed. And the other kid who laughed got reprimanded for that.
I believe it.
You are not a dog.
Right.
That's not what I think. It's not what I feel. It's not my narrow-minded perception. You're not a dog.
Right. So so the teacher should have been able to discern what that bark meant. I mean, if you're an expert, right? I mean, talk to me now. Translate. Do we
You're
need
right.
a translator?
Yeah, you're right.
To translate barking and meowing like animal signaling. Now we need somebody to translate. Have we approached that platform?
You know, maybe there's a market for that.
Right.
You should start an animal language translation school.
Listen, I'm on board. I'm trying to find any way I can to make money. Listen, I gotta capitalize on any way I can. So
oh my gosh. Well, you could start a YouTube channel and have 108 subscribers.
We're gonna get you 109. Don't worry.
Well, I had 109. I annoyed somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Tying in with animals, we're heading into Pride Month. Here we go. You go into like PetSmart, Petco, all these, any retail merchant that caters to animals. And, we can now identify our pets as being, part of the LGBTQ plus, can't forget the plus community.
Hey, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
It all makes perfect sense.
So I'm wondering like what my dog and cats have been, maybe they're just, they're trying to break out and tell me something. So
right. In case anyone out there is watching and getting disgusted with us, we're not mocking people for what they are. We're mocking this trend of the public demanding that we participate in your nonsense. And you have no right to demand of me that I identify you as something that you are factually, definitively not. You want to identify as that? Go right ahead. But it's getting ridiculous. It's in stores. Everything is a political statement nowadays. And it's getting on my nerves.
There's a small segment of people that are buying into this, and there's a much larger segment of people that are just, hiding under the sheets, waiting for it to go away.
The rainbow sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rainbow sheets. This is about certain groups of people feeling compelled that they should have to infiltrate my space.
It's America. Be who you want to be what you want to be. Stop ramming it down my throat. And I'm just getting sick of every specialty group trying to get me to bow down. I'm not bowing down to anybody.
No.
Enough's enough. And to insist that I support you, how? Why? It's none of my business. Now, for years, I'm sure a lot of people of alternative lifestyles were persecuted. That's not cool. And that could be the reason we are where we are today. So if you're one of those bullies out there, leave people alone. But as far as this uprising, we don't need it. We don't need it. I understand a kid not feeling comfortable in his own skin, but why are adults introducing children to this mindset? And I think you're confusing them more. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Absolutely. Well, you're not only confusing them more, but there's argument that you're actually grooming,
right,
helping to,
indoctrinate.
Yeah, indoctrinate. Yeah. Change the mindset, if you will. I mean, we're looking at like Target, which is this family. For years, Target's been the staple for families, right? Mom goes, drops the kids off at school, heads to Target, gets what she needs to get. Well, now Target has introduced a line of products catering towards, catering to transgender children, particularly bathing suits that will allow a male, a biological male child to hide his biological male part to identify as a female child.
Well, that's great, because then later in life they can cheat as a swimmer.
Right.
How
There,
about
you know,
that?
I mean, hopefully, yeah. I mean, maybe the suit will expand and baby basically, or you could alter it to accommodate whatever you decide to become in the future. But it's a very dangerous slope that we're heading, down in terms of this whole movement as it pertains to children.
Yeah,
Because as these hormones surgery options are lifelong.
yeah,
This isn't like, Billy, you know, making some sort of decision whether or not he thinks he's gay or he's trans, going through a couple months of, um, trials and tribulations and then
right.
reverting back to normalcy. There is
Right.
no going back, right?
Well, I don't know, actually. I'm relatively ignorant on the
Yeah.
subject. It just,
There's no going back. Once you
okay,
start introducing some of these medically permanent long-term options, there's no going back.
right.
So yeah, it's a serious thing.
They're teaching these kids, hey, why don't you experiment? Why don't you try it? It's like, well, no, like if you're not naturally that way, why would you just, if you're not transgender or you're not gay, then why would you just try it because it's the new trend? Like it's getting ridiculous, man.
Well, it is. And then, if you go back to your own youth, right? Your youth, my youth, like there were periods of time we were confused.
Yeah.
Not
I still
may
want to
not
be
necessarily be a sexuality issue, but
right.
there were periods where you can revert back to your 8-year-old mind or 10-year-old mind, and obviously things were different. Your thought process was much different back then. So why are we expecting these children to conform to something that may be a fly, a flash in the pan of a
Yeah.
thought?
We're being bombarded with it and we're being forced to put energy into it. And I really had no intention of that. And even on today's episode on this subject.
Well, my take, I agree with you. Don't force it down my throat. Why are we being bombarded? Is exactly the question. Everyone should be asking that question. If you're not asking that question, then you're not alive, basically. It's everywhere. It's, stores, the workplace, you can't go anywhere. We all have LGBTQ people in our family, friends. We know these people. They've existed for centuries, generations, decades. We have, like I said, friends, family. Why now? Why are we being bombarded? To me, that's insanity on just about the highest level. Recently, this Blue Jays pitcher by the name of Anthony Bass came out, posted something on Twitter supporting boycotting Target as well as Bud Light and promoting Christians to get on board to say, hey, these are not, this is not acceptable. Well, of course, as the mob, the mob attacked him and basically shut him down. And now he's forced to apologize. So
Forced to
forced
apologize.
to apologize.
Right.
So, it's really the time that we're living in where these I think a very small percentage of the population is given a huge platform to speak out. I don't think most people are even supporting this ideology. They're just forced to go along with it because they're afraid of the backlash.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So he ran away from the issue because he's more concerned with his bottom line. And the manager of the baseball team came out and said that the apology that he gave is not enough, that we're going to continue to take disciplinary action. So now they're going to use this individual as some sort of a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's obviously not America for that guy, and the Constitution does not apply to him.
Correct.
I got you. Yeah, I get it. It's a beautiful thing. It's
Selective constitution. Yeah, so it's everything's selective. It
yeah,
depends on what group you're in,
right.
whether or not you get recognized or get
Yeah,
accepted.
yeah. That's the thing. You just said accepted. acceptance is one thing, and I accept people. I do. Yeah, you know what? Let's just take a moment, and I'm sure you're going to agree. I don't hate people for what they are, unless they're just an evil, bastard. I don't hate people for being different or identifying a certain way. But to accept is one thing, but to demand of me that I embrace it is ridiculous. You have no right to demand of me that I embrace this stuff. You have no right. You want to identify as a tree, or whatever, dress however you want to dress. You're a guy and you want to wear dresses, whatever. You go right ahead. Don't demand of me that I acknowledge it, okay, or that I acknowledge you as what you claim to be when you're factually, definitively not that.
Right. Like, why do you need people on the outside to validate your existence? You and I do not fit into that category.
Right.
Right. So we're not going to give you that validation.
Right. And it doesn't make us evil people.
No, absolutely not. They have a financial motive that they're actually making money on this shit. I mean, because they're capitalizing.
And you know what? That's as annoying as that may be. I don't want to say I don't mind that. It is annoying, but they have a right to capitalize on whatever they want.
Right.
As long as it's honest. But it's like it's getting to the point where, like, if I don't support it, if I don't go buy transgender clothes or something, like somehow I'm a criminal. It's like, look, man, it doesn't apply to me.
Right.
Somebody the other day was saying, he was listening to the conservative talk show radio, and he was saying something, and I don't know if this has come up or he was given a hypothetical. The guy on the radio station was saying that it will now be deemed inappropriate if a transgender person asks you out and you decline them. You're somehow prejudiced. It's like, no, I just have a preference and it's not you.
They're scare tactics. They're scaring people into submission. They
working.
know it's like, we can't debate the issue. So we're just going to shut you the fuck down. Right. We're not going to even entertain what you have to say. There's no logic that they want to accept. This is their way of saying, we're going to suppress any opinion, not agree with ours.
I'm going to throw a curveball in here. And if you think I'm undermining you, I'm not. Devil's advocate. I sympathize with someone, whether it's this particular issue or in any way, shape, or form, feels like they don't fit in the world. I understand that. They don't feel comfortable in their own skin or in whatever environment they're in. I get that. But I don't expect the whole world to bow down to me. And that's what people are demanding of me. And it's really getting on my nerves.
Well, yeah, because they're attacking someone else's identity. So it's kind of like, when you really look at it on a deeper level, it's like what you're doing to others is what you don't want done to you.
To you, yeah.
But, if you're conservative and Christian, you're the only group that's not allowed to have an opinion on anything. I think more people need to wake up and start fighting back.
This uprising is ridiculous. Men don't compete against women. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not fair. You want to argue this equal crap. That's ridiculous. And I'm not trying to knock women. We're not physically equal. We're not.
No, as a rule. So
women made to do what men do. That's the way it is.
Well,
I'm just the same. No, you're not. We're different, and that's okay. They're capitalizing on a trend. They're taking advantage of this whole trend, and that puts honest female athletes at a disadvantage across the board. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with some proper grammar. I'd like to thank Dawn for being with us today, and I hope she is happy with her performance, because it would be improper grammar to refer to her as they, them, or it, because she is certainly not an it, and she is only one person, not they or them. Thanks, Dawn, for being here. Dawn, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It's
All
great.
right.
Thank you, John, for having me.
You're welcome. You're
Hope to
welcome.
be welcomed again on your show,
No, I
your
hate
little
me.
segment.
Oh, wait, are we allowed to use the word hate? I don't even know. Am I going to get arrested for that?
Absolutely.
Even if I'm joking? All right. Yeah, people, be yourself. We don't hate you for it. Just stop ramming your crap down our throat. All right. Well, everybody have a nice Pride Month. If you are one of those people that is part of this big conglomerate that's forcing me into this corner where I only have two choices, one is to bow down and conform to all this nonsense, or constantly defend myself for being male, straight, gender specific, Christian, white, or anything else, conservative. If you're one of those people that's pushing me into that corner to have to either conform or defend myself for being what I am, then let me just say, Johnny V here, soon to be the most hated man in America for telling it like it is. Go fuck yourself and have a nice day.
Take it easy, John.
All right, man. Take care, dude.